afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? You guys having a good time at the rank show so far? Yes? Alright, great stuff. There we go. Oops, nearly had value. Right, good afternoon. My name's Alex Case from 947. It's great to be here with you guys on a Sunday afternoon. Welcome to it. It's been a very special past couple of days. As you may have heard, there's one of the biggest fitness shows the country's ever seen, fitness runway model, that's taken place over the past couple of weeks leading up to it. Yesterday, the pre-judging took place at the main show. Last night here at the Rand show, and we had some incredible winners, and it was all put together by this man on my right-hand side, Jaco de Bruyn. We'll get to him in a moment, but I'd like to ask you to please help me welcome some of our international guests this afternoon. We'll start all the way to my right, Mr. AJ Ellison, all the way from the United States of America. Please give him a round of applause joining us. To his left, Hattie Boydell from Australia. Normally we hate Australians because of the rugby, but today we love them because she's absolutely gorgeous. Please give her a round of applause and welcome her. And from the UK, Mr. Tom Coleman joining us from the UK. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. And Jaco de Bruyn, our very own South African fitness expert and face of fitness in South Africa, really. So please give him a round of applause. Welcome, guys. So we'll be catching up a little bit with them over the next hour or so and finding out what it is to be a massive fitness icon from the respective countries and of course in the world. And when it comes down to social media and influencers when it comes to fitness, because there are a lot of people around the world that look up to these icons when it comes to fitness and how to train, how to go about their fitness lives. So let's start with AJ. AJ, welcome. It's good to have you here. Have you had a good time so far in South Africa?
So far it's been great. Haven't had a whole lot of time to get acclimated, but doing the best I can.
Yeah, so you've actually, I think you were telling us, you traveled 30 hours to get here. It's quite a long trip from Canada, from the United States.
Yeah, it is, but it's been worth it. So I have a pregnant wife waiting for me at home, so hanging out in South Africa for 2 weeks probably wasn't the best idea, right? I don't want to watch me on social media having a great time while she's out here 8 months pregnant. So, but I did want to make it out here. I've never been here before, and so I couldn't pass up on the opportunity. So if it's a short trip, it just has to be a short trip. I'll come back. I'll come back with the family next time.
Fantastic. Hattie, yourself, I mean, you joining South Africa, this is the first time in South Africa for you as well?
Yeah, it's my first time, and I'm so excited to be here. I literally, the week that Jaco asked me if I wanted to be a part of the expo, I said to myself, I've got to get to South Africa next year. And so when he asked me, of course, I said yes. And yeah, it's been awesome.
And so, sorry, there we go. And so, of course, for yourself, you've been here a few times before. Back in South Africa, has the experience been any different for you so far since you've been back?
It's great to be back. I love coming here, seeing old friends and new friends, and just to see the fitness industry, how much it's grown, is incredible. So thank you for having me back, and I look forward to coming back again.
And lucky you. Jaco, thank you very much for bringing out our international guests. I think give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. This man's been working tirelessly to put together the Fitness Runway Model show, as well as bringing out our international guests. When it comes to building fitness in South Africa, bringing icons like AJ, Hattie, and so on, why is it so important?
Yes, I've been traveling quite a bit in the last 5 years, and I've probably done every single expo around the world, and I think it's important for South Africa to also understand that, you know, it's the fitness industry is growing rapidly, and there's big reason behind it because we've got massive influences we've got world champions sitting on stage, and a lot of people are inspired by them. And I think it's good to have these influencers coming to South Africa so that, you know, people like you today could ask them questions about their journey and how far they have come. And yeah, it's an honor to have you guys here. Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Right, so we will be opening questions to you guys a little bit later, but let's start with one of the main reasons you brought the likes of AJ, Hattie, and Tom out. Social media influencing, right? It's a big thing these days. It's a real massive, important role that fitness icons, you know, take part in to influence not just good looks or cool lives and flashy lives, but also healthy living. AJ, for yourself, with close to 500,000 people following you on Instagram alone, what does it mean to you when you put up a post and you see people taking heed to what you put up when it comes to healthy lifestyle? What goes through your mind when you're looking for a picture to post and influence people's lives?
What goes through my mind? I really didn't start working towards being an influencer until last year. I had a talk with Arvin and from Shreds, and he's the one that kind of placed it in my head. I was just posting stuff, whatever I wanted to post, and you're going to be inspired by it or not, I didn't care. I just posted whatever I wanted to post. Now I do think about what I post, especially the content, the words that go underneath it, right? You have to, the thing about social media is it is a bit narcissistic. You have to post a captivating photo. That part kind of sucks because it makes a lot of us look really narcissistic and people judge us off that alone. So I make sure the content that goes underneath it has meaning, right? I'm not just a meathead up here. You know, my vocabulary is verbose. I can use big words. No, but there's some thought that goes behind that. I think my followers appreciate that, and that's what separates one fitness person from the next on social media.
You know, you did mention that you only up until about a year ago didn't really focus about being an influencer per se. It's more about your fitness lifestyle. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you're a 4-time world champion when it comes to...
It's only 3, man.
3? All right, we'll claim 4. I'm predicting the future, so let's go for 3 still. It's an incredible feat. That was your main focus leading up to when it becomes social media influencing. Talk to me about before the influencing, when it was solely fitness focused.
That's why it's so authentic. I wasn't trying to be an influencer at all. I was trying to win. That's it. I wanted to better myself on stage. I wanted to cut necks. I'm trying to win. That's it. I want to get better. I want to grow, get stronger, get more shredded. So I was coming from that. That's it. An athlete. I have an athletic background, and I want to win. That's it. I didn't care about anything else but winning. So I think that was my passion, and through that passion, I'm here now. And I think a lot of kids coming up through the ranks have a different, they're putting the cart in front of the horse, right? I was working towards something, not caring about influencing anybody, right? And I think people see that passion, that drive. I'm not the strongest guy on Instagram. I'm not the prettiest dude on Instagram. Might be one of the most shredded, maybe. But other than that, I'm not the top on any level, but I have a following because of the things that I post. I am passionate about what I say. I don't mix up my words. What I say sticks, and that's that. And I'm not trying to be a kumbaya influencer. Everything's great. It's not like that. I'm honest, I'm fair, and I'm passionate. And I think people they read that. I'm very consistent with that, in person or online. I think that's important. And when they meet me, they walk away saying, he's just like he is on social media.
I think that's really, absolutely deserves a round of applause. I think it was something yes to world peace as well. You just got to put the peace sign. Hanny, does that go for you as well? When you're thinking about, when you're putting up posts, and also just your daily life and daily routines when it comes to fitness, is that authenticity a key factor for you when you try to influence people on the way they go about their fitness?
I guess I was the same as AJ. I never thought I was an influencer until I recognised how much I could contribute to helping someone maybe think differently or make a change in their life. And for me, social media it's my journal. So I only post the things that I care about. And if I can, for me, if people repost the words, the caption, not the photo, the caption, I know I've done a good job, and I think it's important to be authentic. Authenticity is very, you don't really see that much on social media anymore. So that's kind of something that I stick to. I only post when I've got something important to write, when I care about it. And if I can contribute to someone's growth in some way, then I feel like I've done a good job.
You know, I'm going to ask you, before I get to the guys as well, and I think with all due respect to the gents, I'm sure you get it as well, but especially you as a lady, I'm sure you get a lot of, for us, we call them trolls, a lot of guys that are angles that are coming at you from a negative angle. How do you deal with the negativity that's associated with social media?
To be honest, I'm pretty damn lucky. I think I don't really get much trolling. I might get, except for Tom. But I think what I put out, you put out love, you get love. And, not everyone's going to like me, and I'm okay with that. I guess I just ignore it. If I do get something that someone says that, is not nice, that's not on me, it's on them. I'm not the one that's holding on to that thought. It's them. At the end of the day, everyone can have their own opinion, but I'm just going to keep posting out the things that I like to post out, and I just don't really have time for that, really.
I'm glad you say that you're blessed in the sense that you don't get a lot of trolling, but I think with social media, you probably do have to have a bit of a thick skin in case you do get that criticism.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I just don't care. I just
Jaco?
I think over time, back in the day when your career started, and I'm talking, correct me if I'm wrong, you get sensitive when that happens. But over the years, building your journey and knowing the road that you've walked, and the trophies that you've won, and the effort and work that you've put in, seeing that now on your social media, it doesn't bother me anymore. But back in the day, yes, because I think you were still trying to find yourself, and a lot of things happen to you at such a rapid time. All of us in the last 5 years, we have magnificent careers. So I mean, from my side, if I get any hate now, I either just delete it and block the person immediately, or I just ignore it. And I even get sometimes your fans come and support you and, help you to get rid of this person that's giving you negative comments on your social media.
What I find incredible is that these guys, I'm sure you can see, I'm an severely averagely built guy. Sitting next to these guys, I don't know who you'd remotely pick up an argument with somebody like you, but obviously they hide behind a few text messages or messages on social media. Tom, for yourself, when it comes to criticism on Instagram, how do you deal with it?
I'm totally different. I give it back.
Yeah?
I love trolling.
Have you seen your bicep?
The thing is, they're not going to come to an expo like this. They're not going to come and visit you. They're not going to come and go and pitch you or talk to you face to face. So if they're going to hide behind a computer and try and give it to you, I'm quite happy to give it back, and I don't hold back my words either. So,
Yeah. So out of the four of them, in fact, I know Jaco's like the nicest guy in the world. Out of the three of them, I'm like, who would I least likely pick a fight with? Probably Hannah, because should actually really go. She'll probably bite me. But Tom, I know, would probably just deck me. So either out of the three, AJ's is the nicest guy. You're just like, man, you're a tick. Just go away. AJ, for you, criticism. How do you deal with it, man?
50% of the times I'm like Tom, the other 50% I'll just ignore it. It just depends, you pick your battle. It's tough to have a debate with somebody who doesn't have the knowledge, right? So now I'm stooping down to their level, or having the most idiotic conversation. And I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not trying to lose any brain cells either. So those kind of conversations make you dumber. So I'll block those. But you also have to understand that it's not about you, it's them, right? They're the ones that social media is a great tool. I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for social media. I wouldn't have clients in Australia, the UK, South Africa, Canada. It's a great tool, and it was designed for that. But people always find a way to abuse technology, right? So back home, I've never in my life been tapped on the shoulder and someone look at me and tell me that I look gross because my muscles are too big, or my chest is too big. You don't get that in real life. Now, I don't believe that people have gotten worse. Social media just gives people who are insecure, not happy or unhappy with their lives, a platform to go and dump their drama on other people. So it's not about you at all, right? These are people that don't know me personally, and they attack, it's quite comical almost. Stones are always thrown upward, right? I've never had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson jump on my page and tell me I look like shit. Never someone with success attack me, right? It's always someone who's unhappy with their lives, wherever it may be. So you have to understand. Once you understand that, then you have a thicker skin for that. When I first got in, I'm like, hey man, why is this guy talking about me, man? Why my delts are small, my calves are small? Shut up, man. But being in it for a while, you understand that. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. There's much more good than there are bad, right? And so as long as that's the ratio, I'm good with it. I'll take a couple of bad comments to get 1,000 good comments, positive comments, and that's what influencing is about. Once I realize that people are paying attention to what I'm doing, I now have a responsibility, right, to promote my journey in the best, in the most honest way possible for other people that are trying to do the same thing.
Fantastic, thank you very much. I think it deserves a massive round of applause for all of them so far. I was lucky enough to be at dinner with everybody the other evening, and we were talking about how a lot of people will see a post go up with an influencer like one of the four next to me with hundreds of thousands of followers, and they see this glamorous lifestyle, but they don't see all the behind-the-scenes work that goes on, all the years of hard work. Jaco, let's start with you. Let's talk about your fitness journey. I mean, I've been lucky enough to meet you 10 years ago when you're about my size. That's a complete lie. He was still about 3 times my size. Up until where you are now, talk to me about your journey when it comes to fitness and where you started and where you are now. Was close to 1 million followers on Instagram.
I've quite an interesting journey. I've done extremely well in the early days in the modeling industry.
He's being modest. He was voted, if you can all remember Heat magazine, he was voted Heat's sexiest man in South Africa. And what else? Best torso in South Africa. He was an MK presenter. He was also voted as sexiest TV presenter, so he's being modest. If I may ask a personal question, what for you has been the biggest sacrifice?
It's just missing out on family stuff, especially when you're pregnant and that, like if you've got weddings to go to, or stag do's and stuff, especially like your best friend's stag do, you can't go to it. You feel like you let them down. But you've got to make sacrifices in all walks of life. If you're passionate about something and you've got a dedication to achieve anything in life, no matter, it's not got to be fitness, it can be anything. You're going to have to make sacrifices somewhere along the lines.
And how long is how long have you been in the fitness industry now? What would you say, years-wise?
6 years, I think.
6 years, yeah. I mean, it takes quite a while. How do you, for you, I mean, obviously, again, I'm guessing you came from a modelling background, or did you come from a different background leading into fitness?
I was an elite gymnast from the age, I did gymnastics from 4 to the age of 14, and I was an elite gymnast for the last 3 years. So when I was really young, I was training 32 hours a week, more than what I do now, which is crazy. And I guess my fitness journey started actually, I had really bad anorexia, hospitalised for a couple of years. And that was actually the turning point where I looked at, I was like, I've got to help these young girls. There's got to be someone out there that's going to teach young girls how to be healthy and exercise in a way that doesn't consume your whole life, and to help create a healthy and happy body image. And it was definitely much easier said than done. But I recognised that if I wanted to I had to, I guess, be the change I wished to see. And so when I got out of hospital, I enrolled into my PT course, and 2 days after my 18th birthday, I worked at one of the most prestigious gyms in Sydney, and I was very lucky to have amazing mentors to help me while I was young. And within 2 years of working there, a friend of mine said to me, you should get into fitness modelling, you'd be really good at it. And I've always been very competitive, so 8 weeks later I did my first show, came second, qualified for the Nationals, won the Nationals, and then I pretty much won all the shows in Australia, did the WFF show in 2013 I think it was, won that, got my pro card, and then went over to the international shows, and a couple of years later became the WFF World Champion. And in that time, a lot of sacrifices.
What has been the biggest sacrifice for you?
Definitely the saying no to friends and family. It's all worth it to me in the end. I love a challenge, and I love the hard work, and I love to be a beast in the gym. So there are sacrifices to be made, but for me it's always worth it. And when I retire, I can go and have as much fun as I want with all my friends, and they respect. They don't get it, but they respect it. But yeah, early mornings, late nights, lots of hours in the gym, a lot of discomfort under the bar, definitely. Obviously, discipline with food is a big thing. And finding that balance between work, rest, and play. Definitely playfulness gets kind of pushed aside a little bit. But I think as you get yourself into a routine, and the more and more you compete or train, you start to find a balance, what works for you. And I always say it's my time to shine between December and January, when I don't have shows on, and I can be really playful with friends, and I can go out and have a drink and have a dance. And then after January, it's back into hard training and dieting for the shows.
We'll definitely come back to that work-life balance when it comes to fitness in a moment. AJ, for you, and I know we were chatting a little bit earlier in the week when we went for dinner. You definitely didn't come from the fitness background. You were an electrical engineer. I mean, that's what you studied basically, and then you got into full-time fitness. Tell us about your journey.
Well, before that, I had 13 years in the 13 years of working corporate. But before that, I was a track athlete. That was my first passion.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what passion was back then. I was young, and I just poured my heart into it. And that's the first time I excelled in anything to a high level. Qualified for Olympic trials in 2000. I was an 800-meter runner. So if you can imagine, I was the same height at about 150 pounds, which is 68 kg.
A little bit lighter than you are now.
Yeah, slightly. Yeah,
Slightly.
yeah. Now my head's a lot bigger, so I weigh a lot more now. But it was a completely different sport than what I'm doing now. It's the exact opposite. But it taught me discipline, mental toughness, fortitude, and I got shoved into track and field and did the distance running as a punishment because my grades weren't where my mother thought they should be. My mother's Japanese, for the people out there that don't know, and so she's Asian. And if you get a B, that's not good enough. It has to be an A. So she was really heavy on the academic side of things. And so because I didn't get good grades, that was a punishment. They shipped me off to my uncle's house and I did some roofing and lawn mowing all summer long, and then stuck me into cross country and track. So it was kind of a forced thing. So with that, I realized that I had a bit of a talent. And that's how I was able to afford to go to college. They didn't save any money for me to go to college. I had to make my own way. So I fell into track and field, poured my heart into it, realized I had a skill for it, and I nurtured that. I poured everything into it. And I was training twice a day. I was running about 85 miles a week. So I was putting more miles on my shoes than I was on my car back then. And I did that for a course of 8 years. I built up to that. And then I got injured, went to the corporate world for about 13 years, felt really average, decent worker, never did anything exceptional, clocked in on time, went home on time, politics really well, bosses loved me, but something was missing. Right? I wasn't the happiest person for those 13 years. I didn't feel like that was for me. And it wasn't until I came into this fitness side of things that I realized that I had a passion for this as well. And so being older now, I can reflect and look back on what made me so good back then in track and field, and why I had a good 13 years of just being average. And same person, same mindset, it's just that one ingredient that was missing for 13 years, and that's the passion. Passion makes you do things above and beyond without question. Right? Even though people in my family may think I'm an idiot, or my friends may think I'm stupid for putting in so much time into something, but look what comes of that when you put that much time into something that you enjoy. That's the sacrifice, and you don't really realize how much you're sacrificing, and it makes it okay. But it makes it okay, and I think my friends and family accept that now, only because they see how much I've grown from it. And for me, that's the biggest difference. Is that having a passion for something makes you do things that the average person won't do. They couldn't be bothered doing it, right? But you don't really see that work that's dumped into that. You only see the highlights, that stuff that looks good, the pretty stuff, right? The winning the shows and traveling. And I think a lot of people get a false sense of what we do because they don't get to see the day in, day out grind.
If you do have any questions, please, one of our videographers, our sound guys, just grab one of them and just let us know you have got a question for one of our guests. Jaco, when it comes to, like AJ is saying, I mean, you look at the posters and you look, top form over there. It takes months and months, years and years of hard work. Talk to us about now when it comes to a show, for example, like a show that you hosted last night. The preparation that goes into, for you guys, and of course, lady, the preparation that goes into it. Talk to us a little bit about that. It's not just obviously a physical thing; it's also a mental game.
Yeah, I think competing, and especially competing at on an international stage and as a pro, it becomes much harder because the pressure is much higher.
You got to maintain.
You got to maintain, yeah. And for me, when it comes to getting myself on stage, and I think the same with these guys, is that you have to. There's years of knowledge and experience that you have to gain before you can actually, even become a professional athlete, because I'm still learning how my body reacts to food today, even more so than 5 years ago. So you never stop learning. And you know, I always say, a lot of people always ask, you know, they train every day and they, you know, they're not getting results. But you know, it's all, I always tell them that you are what you eat, and the diet is extremely important. But yeah, mentally for me.
Just quickly on that note, none of you have turned into chickens yet, so chicken or fish. So you guys are still doing it right.
But yeah, for me, you know, mentally it's probably the biggest challenge that one needs to face, because social media also hasn't made it easier for you to just focus on yourself and getting yourself on stage, because now you constantly see people that is so well built and has got amazing physiques all around the world, and even your competitors that you're competing amongst on stage, you know, you see them every day, so the pressure on yourself is just high, and you become your own worst critic. But yeah, to get back to your question, it takes me about 12 weeks, you know. I need at least 12 weeks to prep myself for a comp. I'm never really out of shape, to be honest, so, you know, I could probably do it in 8 to 6 weeks. But, you know, mentally, there's also a lot of work that needs to go into that, and just getting yourself on the right track and making sure that you build your best possible package to go present on a professional stage.
I suppose it does come down to discipline as well, that discipline of reminding yourself to wake up early in the morning, go train, diet, stick to that 5 meals or however many meals you schedule for your diet. Tom, would you say, you know, coming also from that rugby background, that discipline has helped you coming to the fitness industry, keeping that discipline going while you're training?
Yeah, because you enjoy it as well, it becomes a routine, but I love structure. I'm just one of the people who love structure now. So when I'm not prepping for a show, I'm kind of like, I'm easy on the food. I still eat decent, but I'm easy on the food.
What's your favourite cheat meal?
I've got hundreds.
All of it?
Everything. I love food, I love my food, so I like to go out a lot and eat. But when it comes to prepping for a show, I love that structure. I love having my alarm set for meals, I know what time I'm going to the gym, I know what I'm training. I just love that structure within prep. I work alongside, I've got a prep coach as well, because like Jaco said, looking at social media, looking at other athletes, and looking at yourself every day. You're your own worst critic. You're never happy, you're never satisfied. So my prep coach is always looking at me, and he's always checking. So the last 3 weeks, I'm always like, right, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough. And he's like, shut up, stop being an idiot, you're fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, shut up. So it's good to have a team around you, because you're always going to put yourself down. But that's a good thing, because it shows you're never happy. So you're always going to give 100% to achieve more.
You agree that, you know, you guys, I think all 4 of you actually, you do coach other people, but you agree that every coach needs a coach?
Yeah, you need them second pair of eyes on you. It's nice to have that person around you. It's knowledge as well. Like we share knowledge with each other. Within the industry, everyone shares a bit of knowledge and that. And it's good to try different stuff, because you might try, like training with AJ the last couple of days. I don't train that intense or that tempo. I'm quite slow. so I train very old school style. Like when I first started when I was 16, these guys took me under their wings. I still train them now. They're very old. They're like, I say very old. Sorry, AJ. They're in their late 50s.
You don't take shots at each other on stage. There are no dancers yet to separate the two of you. So.
They're in their late 50s now. But like, I was 16. They took me under their wing, and I trained that way. And I still train that way now, like hard and heavy. But then training with AJ, that intensity, it's nice to spice it up, because you get a new feeling, you're hitting new muscles. And it's nice just to share that knowledge with everyone and train with everyone.
Sorry, just to add to that, like for me, even training with AJ on Thursday, you know, we all train different ways, and we all probably eat different ways as well, and we all count our calories different ways, and that's what keeps this industry so interesting, because everybody are setting their own rules, and then when I speak to AJ and I speak to Tom or whoever, you will always gain new knowledge of how they do things, and then you add it to your life. And whether or not it works for you, doesn't, you know, it's all about just.
It's different things like pre-comp, like how people carb load or drop their water. Everybody's got their own little way, and you want to. The trouble is, like, you agree with this. You want to try it, but you don't want to try it before comp. So it's like everyone's like, oh, why don't you carb up like this way? And you're like, I don't want to change what I'm used to. Like you do the same thing that you AJ all the time, but
yeah, I'll mess around with my diet and my water, but never before a comp. I always revert back to what I know. Last year I did a lot of intermittent fasting for a big chunk of the year. I've never really done that before, and I actually enjoyed it, but I didn't trust it to get competition ready. There's a different level of leanness that I try to reach, and I always revert back to what I know. You know, and minor tweaks here and there. But I don't make big changes. No big changes. If it's not broke, I'm not gonna fix it. Training wise though, for me, because I am a little more seasoned than these guys over here, I've been lifting for 22 years.
I thought you were 21 though.
Well, I'm forever 42.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so my training has to change. When I was younger in my 20s, I would try to lift the entire gym. Or I would break something trying it. I didn't care. My recovery time was wicked. I felt like Wolverine. I could train same muscle group 2 days in a row. Nothing fazed me. Not until about 36. 36, I felt a chink in my armor and realized that I couldn't keep training like I was 21 years old. So now I'm challenged with finding ways to keep training, to keep seeing progress at 43 and still compete with these younger guys in their 20s and 30s. So you got to be a bit more creative and try different things. So these days I've been doing a lot more higher volume training with shorter rest periods. And if you're not used to that, that training absolutely sucks. If you're used to taking a lot of time between sets and moving heavy weight, the moment you change that up and do 10 sets of 15 with only 60 seconds rest, it usually makes people's heart feel like it's going to explode. I've done some occlusion training for my legs to save my knees. Different things work. There's no one, if someone's telling you one thing that's the only way, don't believe the hype. Different things work for different people. And you have to find what works for you.
It obviously goes for dieting as well.
Yes, yeah. Don't be afraid to change some things up and switch. And change is good. There's like a negative connotation to change, but change is great. You have to evolve, and that's what this sport is about. No one up here knows it all. They don't. I don't care what they say. I don't know it all. But each day I learn something new from somebody. And it doesn't even have to be someone that's perceived as an international influencer. It could be the average guy in the gym. I can learn something from that. So if you have that open mindset and to work with other people, then you're gonna grow. And that's the biggest tip I can give is just have an open mindset about diet, about training, and just soak it up like a sponge.
Hedy, how about you? You obviously won some world titles as well. For you, preparation going into, let's say, for example, a WBFF world stage. How do you prepare for something like that?
I'm quite different from everyone else. I like to do a lot of heavy lifting. I actually train with a powerlifter back home, and so that's definitely against the fitness model norm. But I give myself, a good 8 months to get ready.
8 months.
Yeah, I have a building phase or a strength phase. I like to, try and throw around as much weight as possible. And then I'll have a cutting phase, and I like to go for a long cut because I actually quite enjoy dieting. And as the boys said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So it's really important to find a diet and lifestyle that not only works for you, is sustainable, and also goes towards your goals. And enjoy it. As I said, I had anorexia severely for a good couple of years, and I refused to. That really made me think, okay, how can I compete and be as healthy as possible? Now, obviously, competing, towards the back end isn't very healthy, but how do I make it as healthy as I can? And so I use flexible dieting or macro tracking, as some people like to call it, and that allows me to eat all variety of food. I have chocolate every day, even the week coming into my show.
Just quickly, we tried to convince Hedy to eat Mapani worms the other night.
I said no. I was like, I just couldn't do it. That, I could eat everything but that. So, for me, like a mental, my relationship with food and my body is probably my number one priority. And that's what I teach a lot of my clients as well. And I use that method 365 days a year. So whether I'm getting ready for a show or even in my foundation season, that really works for me. And that allows me to be a bit more social. But yeah, in terms of, no, food doesn't have to be boring. I love food. I definitely love food.
Sounds like you're hungry right now.
I am hungry. So I like a long prep. I love the discipline, I love the challenge. I'm not afraid of hard work, I never have been. And I'm incredibly competitive with myself. So getting on stage, as much as I want to, I want to be the world champion, is did I improve from last year in all areas, performance-wise, physique-wise, mindset-wise, and also my overall presentation on stage.
I believe we do have a question to the back.
Thanks, Alex. I think a quick one for everybody is, what's next? So what are the next 12 months, or what does the future hold? AJ, you mentioned you've got a baby coming on. Hattie, I've seen on Instagram you going back to get your crown. Tom, you've got a whole lot of stuff happening in the entrepreneurial world. Jaco's got FRM happening. I think it's an interesting one for us to know in the crowd as to where to from here now when you've stopped competing at the level, depending until you're still competing. And you guys are all great entrepreneurs. I don't think everybody realizes one to become an Instagram sensation is one thing, but that's part of being a great marketing person too in your own right. And really, where are you taking your journey to next for us people in the crowd?
I think I'm at a stage now where competing is not really important for me anymore. I did it last year for the first time after 4 years, and it was incredible. It was amazing for me to step back on stage, and I purely did that for myself to just see whether or not I still had it in me to step on stage. But for me now is the fitness industry is my life, and I love every bit about it. But now my focus is to make money, build something that is sustainable for myself and for my family, and I'm fortunate to be able to do that in the fitness industry. And yes, I would love to step on stage again. That's definitely not saying it's done and dusted, but my priorities are definitely building a sustainable business.
It's progression for me. I always want to challenge myself to be better. When I first started off, I was a fitness model. I was 75 kg. Now I'm 95.
So there is hope for me, because I'm 75 kgs at the moment. Yes, there's hope.
I was the same as Alex.
Okay, thanks, man.
A little bit shorter, but I was. Mine's progression, so I'm always trying to achieve better for myself. The trouble with social media as well is everyone looks at us and they want the finished project. They want that now, straight away. Whereas we've been doing it years, and our competition is ourselves. It's not anyone else. We're always trying to achieve better for ourselves, and that goes in business as well. For me, I've now progressed and I'm going to step into Classic, but not until 2020, so I'm going to take a whole year out, like Jaco, focus on business, focus on family, moving house and stuff, and then just still train, still eat, but then end of 2020 is then focus straight in. Yeah.
How good for you?
Obviously getting ready for the world titles, which is in 16 weeks.
Who's counting?
Not me. And I always say that fitness modelling is my hobby. My love and my passion is definitely coaching and education. I love doing seminars, so last year I did a couple of seminars around the world, and I want to continue to do that. Educating young women on having a healthy relationship with themselves. I always say the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one you should have. Then you can truly love others. You can really see people in front of you when you can see yourself. And that's something that I really believe in. So educating through seminars. I said that I want to be the next female Tony Robbins in a way where it's, mental, spiritual, and physical performance. And I love competing, so I'll probably compete for as long as I can, and I would eventually like to do a powerlifting competition because I love strength work. That's kind of where I'm going.
Sure. AJ, for yourself?
Well, for me, I have a little one on the way. He is due in June.
Congratulations.
So right now, all hands are on deck. That's the main focus. I'm also transitioning from the US to Canada, as well as we're remodeling a house in Canada as I'm trying to get rid of everything I have in the US. So that's a lot of, there's a lot that's going into that right now. And in the meantime, I'm also dealing with a couple of injuries. I have 2 quadricep tendon tears and a slight tear in my right rotator cuff. So I guess if I were to be injured, this would be a good time to be injured because I have other things to focus on. But I do plan on competing again once I'm given the go, the green light from the doctors. That's the hardest part is when you're injured, you want to come back and bounce back really fast. So I don't want to be my own worst enemy. I'm going to do what he says, chill out for a while, focus on family, focus on business, focus on social media, and once I'm ready to go, I'm going to come back and compete. Hopefully by the end of the year, if not next year. And that's it. I feel like I still have a few more years of competing in me. I've been doing it for a decade now, and for me, I really don't struggle until the last 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks I get hit by a ton of bricks, but up until then I'm fine. So I still deal with my online clients, still deal with my personal training clients, still have my obligations with my sponsors, and so nothing really changes. Adding a family into the mix this year has been a bit challenging, but I also want to show that it can be done as well. Right? You're not going to see me morph into a dad bod and fade away. But I'm going to be daddy daycare. I'm still going to be a fitness influencer. I'm still going to be a competitor. I want to show people that I can be a champion in each endeavor and put it all together and multitask. And that's my goal.
You know, for everyone that's just joined us, AJ Anderson, Hattie Boyle, Tom Coleman, and Jaco Bruyn. When it comes to injuries, Jaco, you're no stranger to them. How do you deal with that? Because obviously, when you, like AJ was saying, when you get that injury, your doctor says to you, okay, seriously, stop, take a break for a second. How do you do that mentally when that is something that you're so focused on and it's affecting your business, your lifestyle, your livelihood?
Yeah, so I tore my right bicep 2 years ago, completely off my shoulder bone. And I was in the best shape of my life prepping for Australia, big expo in Melbourne for my sponsors, EHB Labs. That was very hard for me emotionally. It's something that you don't expect. You're always in this competitive mind frame, and then something like this happens. So emotionally for me it was hard because I didn't know how to deal with it. It was also my first injury in my 10 years of training. So, a lot had to go into just mentally train myself and telling myself that, it's only 6 weeks, it was only 8 weeks, but being so competitive and always wanting to be in the best shape possible, it wasn't an easy challenge for me. But nonetheless, my career was also booming at that stage, and I was traveling quite a bit overseas to all different parts of the world, so it actually helped me a bit to relax and not focus too. It took a lot of the attention away from me training and trying to be in the best shape possible. But so I got, the injury got better and I started training again, and then 6 months after that I tore my left bicep completely off my shoulder bone. So I've got 2 scars as you can see, but obviously that one was slightly better for me, but it put me in a completely different mindset and made me very negative. And I think that was one of the reasons why I really wanted to step on stage last year, just to prove to myself that, my time is not done and I can still do it. And I stepped on a world stage and I still kept my rank at 4th place. So it was a big deal for me.
Alex, you got a question?
I believe we have another question here.
This lady would like to know, is it too old to start at 50?
Right, so
I think it's a perfect one, Fatty. The question was, is it too old to start at 50?
It's never too old to start. Never.
My parents have just started.
What would you recommend? How would you recommend starting?
My dad's 65 and my mum's 61. She's probably going to kill me. And they've just started. And that's nice because I've inspired them to get back into the gym. But, it's just for the movement. They go there for the movement, the weights. They're not on the cardio machine all the time, light weights, and just enjoying it. And it's nice to see, because we're in the same gym together, you see your parents training, and it's a really nice feeling to show that you've done that for them, because they're so supportive of you and been there for you the whole life. You can give a little something back as well.
I believe age is just a number. So if you set yourself goals and you want to achieve it, everybody is drawn towards results. So if you're 50 years old and you're going to the gym and you've done a 12-week challenge for yourself, and you know in your heart that you've been disciplined and passionate, you definitely will see the results. Doesn't matter what age you are.
My mum was my first guinea pig when I became a trainer, my guinea pig. And I still train her to this day, and she's 61, I think. And she can hip thrust 130 kilos. And she's an animal. She's a beast. But when she first started, she was yeah, she was just a 47 or 48.
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
And
Started somewhere.
she had no choice really, so I got her into fitness, and it's awesome. You know, it's had a really great influence on my whole family. So it's, you know, do what you love doing. Find something that you really, really enjoy doing, because at the end of the day, it's your time, it's your body, and when you enjoy it, you stick to it. So.
Hi, this is Patty. Firstly, thank you. You're such an amazing inspiration to all the females out there. So thank you. You talk about seminars and appreciating your body. Would you think about coming back to South Africa to host those types of seminars?
I was yes, absolutely. Quick answer, yes, absolutely.
Another question?
For Hattie as well. The WBFF pro against Andrea Brazil, when you won, how did you feel?
In 2016. It's so crazy because she, Andrea Brazier to me was, I admired her. She's absolutely beautiful. I still admire her. And I'll never forget the first time I stepped on stage in 2014. I literally forgot what I was doing. She walked out and I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. And then to, 2 years later, beat her was like, that was what I was working towards. Did I think I was going to get it that year? Not exactly. So when it was a huge shock. Of course, I was incredibly proud. But it was quite a surreal experience, so coming back for the title again this year, so see how we go.
Alex, I've got one quick one for Tom before we move on. Is you mentioned Tom played rugby. Obviously, this is a rugby man nation. What position did you play? And tell us a little bit about that rugby career.
I was a skinny little winger, believe it or not. I was a little run of the whole team, so I'd get thrown the ball on the wing, and that was it. I played from a kid. Like I was young. My dad pushed me into it. I don't know. I think I was 20 when I was like 5 or 6. I carried on until I was about 18. I kept getting like little injuries in my ankle and stuff, and then decided I want to go from that to bodybuilding. In the UK with rugby, the local teams aren't as good here, so you don't get the sponsors. You're not going to progress anywhere further. It's like 1 out of 100 people go any further than that. So it's become more of like just like good weekend with your friends and your family and that. You'd go down the club, you'd have a game of rugby, then you'd get pissed afterwards. But my passion was still the sport, so I transitioned that into bodybuilding. But I still go down to the local club. Some of the boys still play, not very well, because most of them still hungover from the night before. But it's, what rugby's like, it's a good gathering, it's a gentleman's sport. So I'm still really passionate about it.
Have you started supporting South Africa yet?
Always.
Yeah, good man. I like it. So another question? Front?
If you were not a fitness influencer, what would you want to be? Would you be a fireman?
So if you weren't a social media influencer and in fitness, what would you like to be? Jaco?
To be completely honest, I never thought in a million years that this is what I was going to do. I always remember being at school the skinniest kid ever, and I think in the back of my head mentally it was always something that bothered me, and that's one of the big reasons why I stepped into the fitness industry. But if I wasn't in the fitness industry today, I'd probably be a lawyer, because that's what I went to study for 3 years in Nisa. I didn't finish my degree, which I regret, but it was something that I wanted to do.
Yeah, I kind of just fell into this as well. This wasn't really planned for me. I did performing arts and interior design and fashion. So all my classes were full of females.
So after the seminar, we'll ask Tom to do a bit of an acting scene a minute later. We'll see how that goes.
So yeah, I pretty much, at school, I loved school, but I didn't like maths, English or stuff like that. I found it so boring. So when it comes to like performing arts and drama and stuff, I love doing things like that. So I then went on to college. I did that, done the fashion, which has kind of paid off because now I've got my own clothing line. So
nothing wrong with that.
All that's kind of, because then you perform on stage as well, so it's hidden little talent there. Into an exterior design, my house is, it's very feminine.
But I'm going to tell you a story. We were talking about this the other night at dinner, and we're all, enjoying a good old steak, he's having a brandy and coke true story, and he's like, you know what I'm really enjoying these days? Because Hattie points out the candle on the middle of the table. He's like, I'm really enjoying scented candles these days. And everybody goes quiet. We're like, what?
Got them all around the house, they smell nice.
I think you're right.
That's legit.
Eddie, what about you? Let me just say Tom here. What about you?
When I was in high school, I was like, yeah, when I'm older, I want to be a backup dancer. I've had no professional dancing experience whatsoever. But in my mind, every time I'd come home after a night out, I'd pretend I was a backup dancer. But actually, I feel like I would probably be a TV presenter or a host of some sort. I actually really enjoy interviewing other people. But I actually couldn't imagine doing anything but this, you know. So,
This has become what you love.
yes, absolutely.
AJ, yourself?
I'm a big dog lover, so I'd probably run a doggy day spa or something like that.
So from day spa?
Yeah. I don't know if I'd be a professional dog walker, but a day spa where they can drop your dog off, they can have a play date with other dogs, grooming over here, and then the cameras will be in each room, so the owners can pipe in and watch their dog and make sure they're okay for the day while they're at work or on vacation or whatever.
Definitely the most great sponsor.
I'd have to move to Beverly Hills for that, but it'd be a definitely high-end doggy day spa where your dogs get treated with the utmost respect, and it'd be like a 4-star, 5-star hotel.
Still a potential retirement plan right there, we can see it happening. Right, so just quickly to wrap this up, so we got another question here, sorry, go ahead.
The young lady next to me, I'm her spokesman. She just wanted to know what pushed you to compete the very first time, and
have you guys ever doubted yourself?
did you doubt yourself when you went in there for the first time, and how much did you doubt yourselves?
I doubt myself all the time. For me, you know, when all of this happened, you know, it comes from unfamiliar ground, you know. I remember when I went to Body Power UK for the first time, and I had a booth there, and there was thousands of people standing in a line to come and meet me and wanted my autograph. And I went home that night, and I was sitting on the couch, and I was like, what the hell just happened? It was so surreal that, like, emotionally it was overwhelming, and I cried like a baby because I was like, what the hell is happening? You know, it took me some time to think, because I never wanted people that support me or follow me. I'll never call them my fans, you know, I'll call them my support system, because I think you lose your humanity once you call somebody your fans. And like when I interact with people internationally, I always doubt myself whether or not I create that image of being real and not fake. So that's one question I always ask myself, and that's one thing that I always focus on, trying to be as authentic as possible, and what you see is what you get. And it's hard because social media changes that. You know, a lot of people come to me or don't come to me because you intimidate them, and I hate that because I'm an extrovert and I love acting with, being with people and talking with people. So, you know, I constantly tell myself that, you know, you are just as normal as every other person out there.
It is hard to please everyone, and you are going to doubt yourself. I actually think I was one of the people at that stand at your first expo, because there was a picture on social media years and years ago of Jaco in green trunks, and that's what spurred me to go further in the industry, and like anything is possible, because now I'm sat and he's one of my closest friends.
Was it the picture of his back and his traps?
That's the one. So yeah, you are going to doubt yourself. When you see an image like that on social media, you go, I'm never ever going to achieve that. But the more you put into it, you actually can, because proof is here. All four of us sitting up here. But you are going to doubt yourself, but that's a good place to be, because you know you're going to push even harder to get to where you want to.
Yeah, I guess I've definitely had times of doubting myself in a comp prep, and it's always like, am I going to make it? You know, I literally, like, I cry every comp prep. I cry. Like, it's blood, sweat, and tears, literally. And at the end of the day, I always make it. It's just the pressure that I put on myself, and it's my own pressure. And I always say, you know, pressure creates diamonds until it creates a rock, you know, until it breaks. When there's too much pressure, you're not actually looking at what's really going on. And I think it's important to, I say, be happy but never satisfied. Because if you can't see what's really in front of you, it's like a thief of joy. What's the point in doing it if you can't actually stop and smell the roses? It can be emotional. You're working so hard for something that you want so badly. You're putting so much effort into it. You are making so many sacrifices. And every single time you prove to yourself, hey, I can do this, I've got this, every time, it's this little moment that might happen.
It's like you said, you've got to stop now and again and smell the roses and appreciate where you've come. I mean, the trouble is, you can be so focused on achieving something, you forget how far you've come. I mean, a lot of the time, think about how many front runners you've had, how many competitions you've won. We tend to forget that because we're going on to the next one straight away. We don't have time to sit back and go, I've actually done this myself and I've achieved something. So now and again, you just got to sit back and relax and go, you know what, look what I've achieved, smell the roses and enjoy the process.
If you can't appreciate any small win, you're ultimately failing because you're not actually seeing what you've achieved. And it's the small steps that climb mountains, right? And that's why we're all here. We're making those small steps every single day that accumulate. I've been training for 13 years. I'm 30. And I love training more than ever now because I know I know what I'm capable of achieving, and I'll push that boundary every single time until it breaks. And injuries are humbling. We talked about injuries. They're humbling. They tell you when to slow down or what you're overusing or not using. But I think it's important to recognise your process and your progress, and just keep believing in yourself.
I think your question, one of it was about doubt, and the other one was about the first time competing. I kind of forget because I'm the fourth person in line. My memory's not that good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You remember that.
I think we get off track a little bit, so I'm trying to answer your question exactly as you asked. My first time competing was 10 years ago. How did I get there? I didn't think competing was for me at all. Well, to take it further back, I was in jiu-jitsu and MMA for about 10 years before I got injured. Tore my right tricep, felt sorry for myself, put me down a dark hole for about 6 months. Then my British mate told me that I should get into some fitness modeling because I was more shredded than his mate back home. And I thought, nah, that's too soft for me. But as I was healing up, it was a long 6 months, I was healing up with my arm in a sling. I walked past the Men's Health magazine, backtracked and looked at it for a minute, and thought I could probably do that. So I grabbed the magazine, bought it, went home. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to get made fun of from my mates back home. They're all punching and kicking each other in the face, and I didn't want to tell them that I'm going to try to do this fitness modeling in my underwear. So I just I kept it up here. I wrote some goals down on a sticky note and put it on my bathroom mirror. So whenever I brush my teeth and use the bathroom and take a shower, I can look at these things that I wrote down. Land a cover, get published, become a fitness pro, blah, blah, blah. Transition out of corporate into my own LLC as a trainer, and I had a dollar amount that I wanted to make. I had all these things down. As cheesy as that sounds, it's the first time I've ever written down my goals. And within a 9-month period, I was able to scratch everything off, right? So when you put things out to the universe, they tend to happen. I'm a firm believer in that. When you believe it, it's not magic. You have to manifest it. You say it over and over again. So as I was connecting with different people in Kansas City is not a big fitness city. We have about 500,000 people, and there's a couple people in there that were big in the fitness world back then. I hooked up with a photographer, did a photo shoot, and ran into one of the guys that was actually a part of the WBFF back then. And he says, "You need to compete." I said, "No." He said, "Well, if you're going to do this fitness modeling thing, you won't make it here in Kansas City because this isn't New York or LA. And it's kind of tough to break into the fitness industry that way without having competitions under your belt. If you're not, and back then Instagram was just starting anyways. It wasn't what it is today. So I didn't have social media to look at. So I kind of fell into it differently. Now I think people see Instagram and they see all the physiques getting on stage and they want to do that based on what they saw. For me, it wasn't like that. It was a means to an end. I wanted to get into this fitness modeling thing somehow, and competing just kind of fell into my lap. And I was hesitant about it. Back then, the WBFF had another category. You had the swimwear round. They didn't have the evening wear round back then. They had I don't know, it was almost like a costume round for the guys. It's cool for the girls, I thought, because they're dressed like Victoria's Secret models. It's a fantasy, right? When the guys do it, kind of look like the Village People a little bit, and that wasn't the route that I was trying to go. So as he's telling me this, he has a wall of pictures of competitors behind him, and I said, so you think I should get on stage? He's like, yes. I said, so I'm gonna be wearing costumes like that, like a sexy chef or a chief, an Indian here, right, with my top off.
AJ, for some people that does it for them, man.
Yeah, well, there was a whole slew of guys doing it, right? It just wasn't for me. So the following year, they did away with that category. They implemented a muscle model category, and they brought in the suits and stuff, the evening wear for the guys. That made it a little more doable. I was still hesitant about getting on stage in front of everybody in my underwear and then flexing and giving it all this. Like, that just still wasn't my thing. So I got talked into doing the show. I signed up for it. I prepped maybe 8 weeks for it. I just ate chicken and broccoli for 8 weeks straight. Got super tiny and lean. I coached myself. I've never had a coach. So I showed up, and I didn't know what to expect on stage. I bought my trunks from the women's department of a fitness store, and I wore the highs, like boy shorts. I bought those. No tanning, no nothing. And as I'm standing in line and getting shoved on stage, I'm peering around the curtain to see what the guys are doing. Okay, he's doing that there. Get that over there. I'm gonna do the same thing. Just walked out and did it. So I didn't place top 10. I didn't place top 10 in my first competition at all. So yeah, tons of doubt. I didn't really think it was for me, but I didn't like getting my butt beat like that. I don't know what I took, but I wasn't top 10, and I didn't like the way that felt. So that was my intro to doing these competitions. I treated that show like a hot body contest, right? Get some abs, whatever, take your shirt off. Maybe you might win, maybe you might not. But after seeing what those guys were doing, back then the bodybuilding.com guys, one of the heavy hitters, they showed up to the show and they looked amazing, shredded to bits. So I knew I lost the moment we took our sweats off, and I'm backstage looking at these guys. I'm like, why am I even gonna get on stage now? But I took that, it was a humbling moment, and I went back for 3 months. I studied more about it. I got my trainer's license. I took a nutrition course. I got certified with PM Nutrition, and I taught myself how to diet. Taught myself how to train to get lean. And then 3 months later, I went over to Canada, Toronto, and then won my pro card at Worlds in 2012. So I started in 2011. But yeah, so that's my intro into fitness. As far as doubt goes, everyone doubts themselves. Now, there's not one person in the world that doesn't doubt themselves, but there's two brothers. That's the fork in the road, right? You can break down from it, or you can build yourself up from it. And so every time you come across that roadblock, you have a choice to make. The better choices you make, the further you progress, the further you grow, the further you build yourself. And for me, fitness is always a test of that. With the injuries I have now, I'm okay with that. It sucks, absolutely. But there's other things I can still do. I can still train the body parts I can that I'm not injured. I have other things to focus on. And that's, for me, that's the not just the physical growth, but that's the mental growth that comes. Hello? Thought they cut me off like he's talking too much. But for me, that's the biggest thing. The biggest takeaway for me is how much I've grown mentally from the first year until now. I've always been a beast when things are going great, right? An animal, determined. But the moment something happens, you have a downfall in life, an injury, that's when I used to fall apart and break down. And that's all, it's a bit of immaturity, and also for me it was just mental weakness, right? It's easy to be on top of things when things are going great. But when things start falling apart systematically in your life, that's when a lot of people fall apart, and I was one of those people. When I sustained that tricep injury back in 2010, it was a pretty nasty tear. It didn't come all the way up the bone, but it put me out for quite some time. I resorted to heavy drinking with my friends, and with the result of that, I ended up getting a DUI, and I felt like I hit rock bottom. So for a year, I had my license suspended. I was working as a test engineer with Sprint, which is a massive cell phone company in the States. I was also bartending on the weekends. So I was working about 60 hours a week. But I was going out with my friends on a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And so that happened. and I use fitness to climb out of that hole. So now for me, whenever I hit a hard spot, I focus on the things that I can do, right? Until I get over this hump, this hurdle, and then I'm in a better starting point than I would be if I just gave up. So I think that's what this has taught me along the way, is to not just to be tough during the good times, but when you hit rock bottom, you got to be equally as tough to pull yourself out of that hole as well. So
the age-old saying of not how you get knocked down, it's how you get up. Yes. Another question. Any more questions? Fantastic. I would like to, of course, just wrap it up. Obviously, we're a little bit over time now. This is going to be, of course, video as well posted across social media. For young influencers that are getting into the fitness industry, how would you encourage them in a healthy way to go ahead with it and get into the fitness industry, but maintain that it's not all the glitz and glam, but go for it in a healthy way? Jaco?
I think if your mindset is on improving your physical physique and knowing that what is important and how nutrition and training works, that should be your focus. Yes, we influencers and we're enjoying it, and it's nice to inspire people around the world. And a lot of young athletes don't understand that. We've spoken about that there's a lot of work that needs to go into that. I think and we've mentioned this as well, just being authentic and do your thing and inspire people around you. Sponsors and all of those stuff will come. Do it the right way. There's more than enough information out there nowadays. There's more information now than we had 10 years ago. So it should be an easier task for them to be competitive, to become an athlete, and to build yourself up to step on stage one day.
Yeah, I totally second that. You've got to enjoy the process. Definitely enjoy the process. But my thing's about being original. The trouble with social media is everyone copies everyone image, everyone copies what everyone says, everyone does the same thing. Just be original and don't be scared to be yourself. I mean, you've already got your Hattie Boys, your AJs, and your Jacos up there. So why would someone want to see another one of them? Yes, you use them as an inspiration, but don't copy them exactly. Our blueprints are there to follow, so you can follow our blueprints to how we got to where we are, but do it in your own manner.
Hattie, for you.
What's the question?
To inspire youngsters that are up and coming to get into the fitness industry, to get into social media in a healthy way, how would you inspire them? How would you motivate them in the correct way, in a healthy way?
Definitely find your why. What is your reason? What is your mission? What are your values? What are you trying to achieve? Why do you want to achieve it? And be ready for the long haul, the journey. Fall in love with the process.
It's not overnight success.
It takes 10 years to become an overnight success, and once you reach there, you better work harder. You've always got to push the boundaries, push the limits, and be authentic. There's no use to being there's no use in being a copycat. Be you. People love you for you, and we forget that sometimes. Be ready to work hard and know your vision, know your goals, know what you're trying to put out there, and just be true to yourself, and just be aware of who you're influencing. Something that I always say to myself is, if I had a daughter, who would I want her role model to be? And I want it to be myself. So I'm very aware of the posts I put out, the words I put out, the language that I use, the vision that I share, because it's important for me. If I had a daughter, I would want her to be inspired by me. So.
Great. AJ, for yourself.
Yeah, to piggyback on what everybody said, you can't put the horse in front of the carriage. You have to, if you want to be a fitness influencer or competitor, first thing is first, you have to be passionate about changing your body. You got to be passionate about dieting. You got to be passionate about lifting weights. You got to be passionate about learning the sport, learning how to grow. Once you do that, then other things kind of tend to fall into place. I think all too often kids now, because the social media is so powerful, they see this, they want to be these different people now. They want to be that, they don't know how to do it. They just know they want that. But again, like I said, I didn't start off wanting that. I'll start off wanting to build myself. So build yourself first, and as authentic as you are, there's other people out there just like you, and they will find you That's your wolf pack. Like the people that follow me on Instagram, that's my wolf pack. I didn't ask them, guys, please follow me. No, they saw something that they liked, that they enjoyed. They get something out of it, and they follow for that purpose. And they follow each and every one of these people up here for a certain reason, and that's authenticity. You have to have your niche. Nowadays, especially now, everyone in fitness has abs. Everyone, they should at least say, everyone has abs, everyone has muscles, they're lean, they're shredding. But what separates one person from the next? What separates me from Tom? What separates me from Jaco? I mean, we know what clearly separates me from Hattie. She's a woman, I'm a man. But for the guys, like what separates us? We all have abs, chest, arms. I'm darker than these two. But other things aside from that, like I'm older, I'm 43, so I talk about that a lot more. I didn't talk about that before, I talk about it more now. I grew a beard, I show my white, so people understand that I'm not in my 30s, I'm in my 40s. So that makes me stand out a little bit from the younger guys. I bring in more lifestyle stuff. I do a lot more videos, I do a lot more IG stories to talk more about what I do on a daily basis, how I look on a daily basis. I'm also a firm believer that fitness is a lifestyle, it's a year-long thing. It's not just getting ready for a show in 12 weeks or 16 weeks, getting shredded, and then being out of shape for the rest of the year. And that happens quite often too. What do we have? We have Transformation Tuesdays, Way Back Wednesdays,
Tequila Thursdays.
Flashback Fridays, right? All those Throwback Thursdays, you have 4 days a week where you can post shredded pictures of yourself when you're about to get on stage. And you can look like whatever you want from the months of November till March. I don't do that. And I'm really keen on staying current. So I'll post current videos along with current images so people know that I'm not I'm not filtering or warping my images at all. The videos kind of back that up. And that's my way of keeping myself in check as well. Because I don't use a coach. So I use my Instagram as my own personal journal. And it's also my accountability as well, because the fans are keen on calling you out when you go back against your word. So I like to be known as someone who kind of holds his word. So word is bond. But that's it. You have to be true to yourself first. And if fitness is your thing, then you have to really be passionate about that alone. Even if there was no cameras, no videos, no Instagram, would you still be doing this? I've been lifting for 22 years before social media was a thing. Almost before the internet. Back when I was lifting weights, it was dial-up. When it took like 10 minutes for a picture to load, you have to watch it and sit there. I cooked dinner. By the time I come back, the picture was loaded. So that's when I started. So I wasn't in it for this fitness, this social media stuff. So that's where I come from, the background of being passionate about sport and bodybuilding. And from there, we added technology onto it. And I think the kids are doing it backwards these days, and that's where they fail.
Guys, thank you very much. I think we can all give them a round of applause for joining us. There's some wise words that definitely transpired today. It all starts with authenticity and being true to yourself. AJ, thank you very much. Hattie, Tom, Jaco, I'm big fans of you guys, and it's a real honor to be on stage with you and chat about all of this. We'll be joining you at the FRM stage. Please come and join us for a few photo ops. And of course, go and follow them. AJ Ellison on Instagram, Hattie Boyle, Tom O'Coleman, and Jaco Bruyn. Guys, thank you very much. We'll see you at the FRM stage. Have a great afternoon.